Foundational Black American, I use that term because it's a term that can't be remixed. See, people can kind of remix other terms, like African American. That doesn't describe the people of the lineage here. We come from a specific lineage, descendants of slaves, descendants of freedmen. We are the foundation of America.
Foundational Black American. It was a term that was coined in 2018 by Tariq Nasheed in order to delineate Black Americans who descended from slaves some 400 years ago and were key to the foundations of America as a country. Now, the origins of this phrase seem quite pure in nature, just as a way to separate the Black people who have always been in America to the Black people who come a little bit later. Just a way to show that they are a little bit different, and that makes sense, right? They have been there for 400 odd years, and they've pretty much built everything and been contributed to everything that is good about America today, right? And initially, while I was researching, it said that they appreciate their African heritage, but they want to be known as their own thing, sort of like how Jamaicans are their own people and other Black people within the world who are not in Africa. Do you understand? But I was sorely mistaken. Recently, I'd made a couple videos. I'd made videos about my African experience growing up in the UK and just Black British culture. And I was hounded by people who claim to be part of the FBA, telling me I have no culture, even calling me a musty African. And it had me thinking, I thought you appreciate Africa. Why is there so much hatred towards Africans? And I came to see that actually the term African American seems to be a little bit of a derogatory term to foundational Black Americans, as they aim to separate themselves from Africa completely. Some of them even believing that they were actually native to America and they didn't come from Africa with majority of the Black people that came to America.
A lot of Black people really hate being called African American. And when I say hate, I don't just mean, hey guys, I think we should all start going by foundational Black American. There is angry passion behind referring to the wrong person as African American. I'm not African. I feel like at one point there was a moment where we wanted to connect to our African heritage a bit more because it's there. It's there. It's real. That happened. And that ship has sailed. That pun was not intended. That moment passed. And now not everyone, a lot of people are intensely behind the foundational Black American movement. Makes sense. I get it. I also think that sometimes it's distracting from our mission. People are fighting amongst themselves. I posted a video about Will Smith possibly being the right person to play Jesse Jackson, and someone was like, man, Jesse Jackson, he called us African Americans. There's reasons to not want to watch a movie about Jesse Jackson because you don't like him. That's not one of them, though. There was another video that one of my coworkers posted about AAVE, African American Vernacular English, but that's the breakdown of that. But instead of people paying attention to what she was trying to say about AABV or BAVE, like our language, people were so distracted by the fact that how dare she use a term that referred to them as African. I just don't think that's necessary. We're going to keep moving into people referring to themselves as foundational Black Americans because I think we're going to get further and further away from, being called African American because more people are just not feeling connected to that term. But it also makes me feel sad in a way. I was raised to really appreciate, being African American, to appreciate Africa. And I also, you watch things like Roots and it reminds you that that was their whole mission. They never wanted Black people that they brought here as slaves to connect to their African heritage, their ancestry. And I'll be damned, it worked.
This has been causing a slight divide within Black America, as one side are happy with the African American phrase and they appreciate the African cultures and traditions, whereas the other side don't appreciate African cultures at all and they don't really want anything to do with Africans in general.
Stop trying to Africanize my people. Stop trying to Africanize my people. We are not African. We are not descendants of African. The problem with you guys is there's those of us who have traced our genealogy. We are from North America through and through. You will not Africanize us. I don't care what you said. I don't care about your DNA test. That don't mean shit to me. Do your genealogy. And if you do happen to be African, be a proud descendant of an African. But we ain't African over here, buddy. We is not African over here. We are from North America.
This is going to drive some people crazy, but there is no such thing as foundational Black American. Because from the start, Black people in the United States came from different African regions, and the label foundational Black American divides more than it actually builds, which we see it online all the time. There is nothing liberating about the term, and the term is mostly used to gatekeep, rank, or dismiss other Black people outside the United States, and I find that deeply xenophobic and rooted in a desperate attachment to patriotism and white supremacy. There's nothing foundational about Black America because there is no Black American written in the Constitution. When the Constitution was written, Black people were enslaved. We were still enslaved. We were not citizens, and we weren't named as people with rights. We were treated as property. So therefore, you can't be foundational to a system that legally excluded you. And I know this is going to go over a lot of people's heads. I'm a Black American with parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and great-great-grandparents, all from the South. But I never want to be called a foundational Black American. I can accept Black American, I can accept African American or Afro American, but not foundational Black American, because foundational ties your identity to a system that never included you. Your lineage doesn't need a gatekeeping level. Besides, Black Americans retain around 90% of African ancestry, so reconnecting with Africa makes far more sense.
Boy, while you're watching this video, you might as well like the video and subscribe while you're at it. Why not? You know, likes are free, helps me out a lot. And subscribe because I got a whole lot of bangers coming out as well. Yeah? Get active. Thank you. So this seems to be splitting Black Americans down the middle, as they can't seem to agree on this whole concept of foundational Black America versus African America. But from the outside looking in, from my accent you can tell I'm Black British. This is not a good look for all of us. I know there's a lot of different Black people across the world and we all identify as different things, but at the end of the day we're all Black. And you have to understand, as Americans, your influence is massive. The way how you guys are portrayed in media, the way how you guys are seen on the TV screens affects the ways that we are treated outside of America. When people see you lot doing things, when people see you lot arguing, when people see you lot not getting along, they stick that on us as well, because at the end of the day, we're all Black and they just see us as the same. Do you understand? On top of that, have you Black Americans not been through enough? You went through redlining, segregation, COINTELPRO, the crack epidemic. The ruling class in your country have done everything they can to divide you, and it's worked. And now here we are today in 2026, and you're dividing each other by choice, by free will. This is not the work of higher powers. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't been able to find any FBI, CIA links. Although there could be, but I haven't found any. This just seems to be of your own free will, of your own volition, and I just can't understand what you aim to do with this division. When you lot were together, you are strong. That's why they threw everything at you to try and divide you. They tore down your homes. They put crack in your communities. They took the fathers out of the homes, which is why there's a lot of difficulties today. And they did this, and then they blame you for not having fathers around, for selling drugs, for doing things like this. Truly very wicked things that have been done to you to divide you, and then today you're going to divide yourself. Why?
We're African people racially. Ethnically, we are a different group. Ethnically, we're foundational Black Americans. I acknowledge my African racial inherent DNA and the connection I have with other African descended people globally. We have a connection as far as intrinsic race and biology. So I acknowledge that. No problem with that. When I travel to Africa or any other place where there are Black people, I see a commonality with that.
See, when Tariq Nasheed claimed that you were from Africa, and he claimed that he has love for Africans and he respects the African cultures because he believes that's where all of you lot came from, there was a lot of disagreements and people feeling like they were betrayed because they think he's lying and he shouldn't say these things about Africa, and no, we're not from Africa. I just can't really get my head around it. You might be hearing my accent and thinking, what is this British boy talking about America for? What? This ain't got nothing to do with him. I know it doesn't really, if I'm being honest. I give my opinion on certain things, but I try to stay unbiased. But the way I've been hounded in recent videos, which actually have nothing to do with Black America, like my video on being African or my video on being Black British, FBAs are just hounding me. And they're dissing my African culture, which I just think it doesn't make any sense. Whether you like Africans or not, whether you like Africa or not, if both of us walk in the street together, other people are just gonna see two black people. We are one and the same, regardless of our differences. We're one and the same. We should all try and be a little bit together. And the way that you lot are dividing each other, I think it's a little bit whack. You know what I'm saying?
But when we say we're not going to accept this, everything is going to have to be equal, and not only equal, we're going to have to get equity in us being mistreated for so long and deprived of resources so long. So we're going to need a little bit extra.
That part.
You see?
Yeah, I guess, for me, I'm kind of past the reparations doesn't do it for me personally. And I'll explain my position, but in hearing your answer, I think you articulated.
Where's your family from?
My family is from South Georgia, the South.
Descendants of slaves? Both of them?
I haven't dived that deep.
Okay.
But my father's African.
Oh, okay. What part of Africa is the family from?
Nigeria.
Okay, there we go. So you have to see if you can qualify for reparations. You might not be qualified for it. You see?
Yeah.
Because the people qualified for reparations are the foundational Black Americans who descended from slaves.
Gotcha.
You dig?
One of the main points of this FBA foundation that they've set up is a chance to get reparations and to see who qualifies. Now, I think this is a very valiant goal. I think reparations are definitely something that especially Black Americans deserve for the hard work, the labor, the slavery, the everything that they went through. On top of that, the way that how they were divided by the CIA, by the CIA, by the ruling class. I think it's only right that they get a decent payout. They get things that can help them reach the level where they are actually meant to be at. You understand? But the way how the FBA are going about it, I'm not too sure about it, because now we're just nitpicking. It's like, your dad's African, so you don't qualify. Your mom's American and your grandma's American and your great grandma's American, but there's a little bit of African in you. You might not qualify. Why are we dividing each other? You understand? And now it makes me think, what? So does this all just come down to money? Is it because of money that you're acting like this? Is it because the promise of some money that you could potentially get is why you're willing to turn on your brother? A lot of you are not just turning on Africans, you're turning on Black Americans who are literally just like yourselves. Same lineage, same upbringing, same states, but you don't agree because he believes he came from Africa and you don't. So now you must hate each other. It's just, it's crazy. Don't you see how crazy that is? All this to say, Black America seems to be going through a little bit of a crisis within each other, and I think it's senseless. We need to work out a way where you guys can just agree with each other and start fighting the good fight like how you was fighting before. Obviously, it's more difficult now because the way that they divided you was really bad. But this, what you lot are doing back and forth, African American versus FBA, this is not going to help anyone.
You see, Black does not describe our culture. It describes our race. If you are a melanated person across the world, you're considered Black. And they don't care what country you're from. I'm sorry, this is just the truth. They don't care where you're from. You're Black, okay? Regardless if you're from Africa or anywhere else where your skin just happen to be melanated, they see you, they go Black. Okay? So Black does not describe our culture. American describes our culture. African describes our ancestry or where our bloodline is from. Okay? And unfortunately, it appears that out of all the different groups on this planet, we're the only ones that have a problem with it. Okay? Asian American culture is not the same as Chinese, Korean, or Japanese culture. It's not the same. But do you hear Asian Americans claim or deny or run from the fact that they're Asian? No, they don't. They're Asian American, and they're cool with it. You definitely don't see white people whose culture is definitely different from European culture. White American culture is not the same as European culture. Very different. But you don't hear white Americans being ashamed of their European culture. We just have a problem with it. The only difference between African immigrants and us is that we were here longer. Only difference, but we're all still from Africa, making us all African American. And I'm cool with that.
At the end of the day, we all just need to be together. You understand? Together. Say it with me. Together. Glory be to God. Glory. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe. Like the video. Likes are free. You know, it helps me out a lot as well. I really appreciate that. And subscribe while you're at it. Yeah. Appreciate you for watching to the end. Take care. Glory.